Hello everyone, this is BL Sil. Shadowverse mini expansion for Order Shift is going live tomorrow. New cards has been reviewed, all of them, and so here I am once again. We are gonna review each and every one of them. Will this mini expansion be a W or a L? Let's find out. So first up, we have Durga. Right off the bat, this does not seem that good already. The biggest red flag that I see right here is that it's an 8 mana follower. And you really know how horrible most 8 mana followers are in Shadowverse, especially if they don't win the game on the spot. For Forestcraft especially, this might be even worse. So let's take a look. Okay, it could be salvageable. It does has an accelerate 0 that destroys an enemy follower. And you can only accelerate if you play 4 cards this turn. It doesn't cycle, so but it does trade 1 for 1 with an enemy follower. It might see a specific play somewhere. On the card itself, the main body, it has Storm and Bane. Okay, it has Storm, that is cool, but like why Bane? Why does Durgan 8 mana 6/6 need Bane? This is a very strange keyword that I don't understand the need to be on this card. But let's continue. It summons 3 white tigers and evolve them. White tigers being 3 mana, 3/2 wards that can be targeted by enemy effects, and so they are basically 5/4 because they get auto evolved. Okay. So let's see. So you can think of this as 8 mana, 21 18 is that's pretty decent. That's actually really good. But there is no board clear unless you run your white tigers in. 4 hit points can generate if for turn 7 board, 4 hit points is really low, so I don't think the white tigers can trade into anything effectively. So and the ward is really questionable. Okay, the ward is nice, but I don't think your white tigers are going to survive your turn, the turn you play it. Why? You need to trade these guys in if you want to go face with Durga. Unless you're not playing to go face with Durga, in which case 1 white tiger might survive. So you get a 3/5/4 ward that can be targeted by enemy effects. That sounds horrendous. And especially when Heavencraft exists. As long as John is in the game, this card will never see play for the main body. Why? You already know. 4 mana is not enough to protect you on turn 8 in against almost any deck in this current meta state of Shadowverse. John clears this super easily. Just John and 2 other followers, and bam, there goes your entire board, and Durga will survive with 1 hit point, but it's not living the turn. For maybe more aggro decks, this might stop them for a moment. But no, I'm not gonna count on it. What else stops this? Dragoncraft Coach Joe destroys this board easily for 5 mana plus a few other followers, which are going to be very beefy by the time turn 8 hits. Drazael clears this. Howling Demon clears this. Golem Lord clears this. Do I need to go on? I think I listed quite a number of cards that absolutely demolishes this. Who else? Well, actually, this stops Gratina. Does it? On turn 8? Nah, that's Copium. I don't... Okay, so maybe the value lies in the Accelerate 0. Let's say it lies in the Accelerate 0. But realistically, how good is it to sacrifice 1 of your hand slot to destroy an enemy follower? Let's say you're going to play this on turn 4, turn 5, or turn 6. Actually, probably not turn 4. Turn 4, you have better things to do. And I don't think most of the Shadowverse deck play for board nowadays. So turn 4 is a little bit... You're not about to play this on turn 4. On turn 5, you can clear most boards with May. So this feels like a tech specifically right now for Buff Dragon. Buff Dragon has high HP, but most of the followers can be destroyed by card effects. And Forestcraft just cannot deal with the high hit point total of Buff Dragon followers. And you might want to run the guard just to tag against them. But I don't think it will be good. You're losing one card in your hand, which to save you in a matchup where you're already unfavored. I don't think this card is gonna be good. Try looking through it. Maybe a 6/6 Storm might be nice, but for 8 mana, it's just simply not worth it. This is a huge L for Forestcraft. It is almost a 1/5 card. Next, Windblown Sylph, 2 mana, 2/2. So first right off the bat, 2 mana, 2/2, really generic stat line, but it is horrendous for Forestcraft. But let's take a look at all the cards I'm really not having high hopes. On Fanfare, it cycles, draw a card. If at least 2 other cards have been played, this auto-evolves. And when it's evolved form, when you strike, you restore 2 defense to your leader. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Forestcraft. Forestcraft has 2 main quests right now. 1, having your allied Forestcraft followers leave play, and 2, having up to 4 cards in 1 turn for a number of turns. And of course, there's the Iris quest, which just wants you to fuse cards, which, yeah, sure. So, right now, Windblown Sil fits into one of none of those quests that I talk about, mentioned. This is support for an Evo Forest deck that does not exist. So, the reason why this doesn't help the 4 cards played per turn is obviously very simple. You want to start playing 4 cards as soon as turn 4 starts. So unless you have a 0 play point card in hand, which, well, to be fair, Fairy Wisp do exist in rotation right now, Windblown Sil won't break in your hand for until at least turn 5. And by turn 5, there is another better card that you can play, which is May Budding Spring Wind. Which, in my opinion, is way better than this. Way better than Windblown Sil. In fact, if you can run May, why would you want to run Windblown Sil? Then it also does not help the one when you want your followers to leave play. Why? This is a 2 mana card. It's really bricky. If you bounce it back, you're wasting too much mana. If it's not 1 cost, if it's a 1 mana 1/1, it might see more play. In fact, it'll be broken since it's a 1 mana cycle and evolve and heal. But no, it's a 2 mana 2/2. And that makes this card feel really bad to play for a Forestcraft player. Especially since there's no evolved win con you can work towards unless you're playing Alice and Grimnir, in which case there's probably better decks you can play like Evil Blood or something. Just not this. This is not it. Of course, the stats isn't horrendous. If you're going second, you can get 2 evolves down on turn 4. But realistically, do you really want to do that? I don't think so. It's not as bad as Durga, since, well, you can play this early for a body, but it's not that much better. But it deserves at least a 2/5 stars. Man, the Forestcraft cards are horrendous. Now let's move on to Swordcraft. Now for Soulcraft, first, Slaughtering Samurai, 1 mana 1/1. Okay, I have high hopes. 1 mana 1. Currently, Swordcraft has a lack of good 1 mana follower, so we have a legendary 1 mana follower that could be interesting. So let's see what this does. Accelerate 1, deal 3 to a follower. Really weird. Accelerate 3 gives +3/+3 to all allied followers. Okay. Last words. Put a Slaughtering Samurai into your hand, add X to its cost, and give it +X+X. X equals the number of allied Slaughtering Samurai destroyed this match. I need to reread that again. What does this card want me to do? Okay, let's break it down. So, you play it for 1 mana, you have last words, it puts itself into your hand, it adds X to its cost, X is equal. So, by the first time it's destroyed, it becomes a 2 mana 2/2. And since it has Accelerate 1, No, you will be playing for his 2 mana body. If you can play for his 2 mana body, you'll be the played for 2 mana body. Unless you have 1 mana, in which case you'll be played for the accelerate 1. Okay. It's not exactly rally support. I see. I mean, it can be tutored with General Maximus, which is interesting. And then 3 when you play for the 3rd time, it becomes a 3 mana 3/3. No. 3 mana 3/3. The second time it's been destroyed. It's a self-scaling card that eventually becomes too expensive to play, and you will be playing for the accelerate 3, which gives +3/+3 to all allied followers, which is a huge board buff. But realistically, how fast can you get this out? Okay, so assuming you spend your first 3 turns playing this card. Turn 1 slaughtering into turn 2 slaughtering into turn 3 slaughtering. You can get this active by turn 4. And then you get 2 more once you get 2 other slaughtering samurais in your hand. Not bad, I think. I think the accelerate 3 is interesting, but it might be a bit too expensive. But this does mean that from now on, your opponents cannot bot lock you, especially if you're Rally Sword. This is a huge threat. They need to pay attention for this. But it is also really, really obvious when you have this active. They know to watch out for this, but before you get this, they'll be free to bot lock you however they like. But before you get to this point, it must be noted that you are spending 6 mana to ready 3 just to get this active. When you could be using those 6 mana to summon at least 5 different followers, rally 5 instead of readying 3. That works towards your win con. Like Twin Blader, Agile Twin Blader, or Radiel, if that's your win con of choice. Spending it for this effect is a little bit too slow in my opinion. To be fair, this is an interesting effect. It's just not worth it. The meta game is too fast, decks are way too fast. You cannot spend 3 of your early game turns doing nothing, playing a 1 mana 1/1 do nothing, a 2 mana 2/2 do nothing, or even 3 mana 3/3 do nothing. I mean, to be fair, you can play this so that you can get the accelerate 1 from this, but this is a spell. It doesn't rally, and it also does not count for allied slaughtering samurai to destroy this match. And you also lose the slaughtering samurai in your hand. So what is Cygames cooking? I don't understand. It's obvious they want to build a bot-based deck, but the current meta just does not support this deck to work. It supports combo decks, it supports tech decks that specifically feed on those combo decks with their own combos. Aggro decks that rely generally on board doesn't quite exist right now, and it definitely will not come into play just because of slotting samurai. This is way too slow a payoff for any sort of board based aggro decks or value decks or tempo decks. This is just way too slow, and Unity is to die. Last word. So if this card gets banished, it's gone. I'll give this a 4/5 in design, but practically, this might not see play. Actually, you'll see play as a 1 mana 1/1, but beyond that, I don't think you'll see play. It is also another 2/5. It's just like, instead, like, if I don't have another choice, I will play this card, but like, realistically, will you play this card? No. Okay. Go 7 mana 5/5 for Swordcraft. I do not have high hopes for this. The last time I see a 7 mana go, it was pretty bad. Fearful Fighter. Ready 10. The next time this follower takes damage, reduce that damage to 0. It cannot be attacked. So if you drop this on 7, the chances of it surviving till turn 8 is pretty likely, you know what, let's take another look. At the end of your turn, deal 5 to all enemies is a board wipe for 7 mana. It's like Draza L, but instead of healing you, it burns your opponent's face. Goes through wards, doesn't go through face shields. Generally, if you drop this on 7, you'll clear the board, but this is bad. Why? It doesn't win you the game, it clears the board, it doesn't have ward, it doesn't protect you. So if you're facing against loot, you die. And this just can be destroyed, straight up destroyed by card effects, which we literally have one right here. Even though that's probably never getting played. I mean, this is likely to be survived, so you could probably get it down with a Slaughtering Samurai next turn, I guess. And then go face for 20, like this plus Slaughtering Samurai's Acceleratory is lethal over 2 turns. But how likely is that gonna happen? Never. Also, John plus Muse Chef or whatever the cheese cutter girl was that auto evolves, then does damage, will clear this immediately. You're playing 7 mana for 1 follower that doesn't protect you, doesn't win you the game. It's not gonna work out, guys. It's definitely not gonna work out. This unless the meta game slows down and combo decks doesn't kill you on turn 7 or turn 8, Fearful Fighter will not be a thing. That's the second class this is only a second class and all of them has been horrendous cards. What's going on? This is also this might even be a 1. It's a 7 mana ready 1. You're slowing down so hard. You slow down so hard. You lose so much tempo from playing Fearful Fighter. Even Gauder will be better than playing Fearful Fighter. No, you don't want to play this card. This is horrible. Hopefully Runecraft is better. Okay, Runecraft. So 2 mana, 2/1. However you pronounce this. Fanfare Reanimate X. Okay, Reanimate. Spicy. Okay, we have a spicy card. X is equal to the number of times this card has been spell boost. If X is at least 10, evolve the summoned follower and this follower. So if this is spell boost, the payoff is really obvious. The payoff is definitely L. Storm follower 4/8. Is it 4/8? 4/6? I forgot. But it is Storm and Ward and Pain. It is really decent. And if X is at least 10, you summon and L. So if you have spell boosted this 12 times, you are in a pretty good spot. Problem is, right now, spell boost does not have any draw. It is still suffering from the draw issue unless the next card fixes that. This might not be as good as it seems. Anything that you want to reanimate before 12. Wait, let's see how much can you realistically spell boost this. If you had this in your opening hand, spell boost on 1, spell boost once on turn 2, spell boost once on turn 3, and then maybe spell boost 3 times on turn 4, 6. Turn 5, turn 6. You might realistically get this out on turn 7, assuming you have perfect draw. Or actually turn 5 at fastest, I believe. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. No, turn 6 if you high roll, turn 7 if you mid roll, and turn 9 if you low roll, or never, because this card will never appear in your opening hand. Unlikely. When this follower evolves, you spell boost the card in your hand 2 extra times, and you also reduce the next time your follower leader takes damage to 0. Oh, okay, this is actually good. The evolve effect is, so you need to spell boost this at least 10 times. Once again, 1 turn, it comes active around turn 6, just in time for OTKs or patterns on turn 7, but it might be a little bit too slow since the buff dragon is still a thing. Loot sword. If you're spending so much effort spell boosting, is there any spell boost followers in rotation right now? I need to take a look. I need to take a look at this. Wait, give me a second. I'm going to pull up the game. I'm going to pull up the game application. Give me a moment. Let's take a look at all the. Let's look at all the spell boost card for Rune right now. Spell boost. Murray, and Explosive Mage. And Fate's Hand. Wait, these are the only 2 followers that you get value out of spell boosting. And technically Flame Destroyer, but this is a horrendous card. You don't want to play this. It's not looking good. I will admit, it's not looking good. But it is Reanimate. So it is Reanimate, so you can reanimate other cards with it. So what other cards can we possibly reanimate? Let's see. Golem Lord is a decent win condition, but you need to start playing or summoning golems for it to be worth playing air for. So at least 5, and you're not allowed to run any other 5 cost or higher unless you want to have a 50-50. So actually, there's not much followers that are 5 cost and higher in 3rd rune. Surprisingly, actually. 4 mana summon 2 Golem Lords. Each of them has summoned at least 5 golems. We're talking 4 mana do 10, and all you need to do is spell boost this 5 times, which could be achieved quite easily by 3rd rune as well, since they do have a lot of spell cards and accelerates. Is this just 3rd support? Is this not even spell boost but just 3rd support? Okay, there might be potential in 3rd, which is actually a really good deck right now. But will you make room for air? She doesn't summon 3rd. She does protect your face, but you need to evolve her first, and you need to add spell boost at least 10. I think the problem here is because it's spell boost 10. This comes down on turn 6. Judging from what I know of spell boost, it's usually a very fast deck, aims to high roll, finish your opponent by turn 6. If this comes down at turn 7, it's way too late to evolve to get the evolve effect. If you're manually evolving this, you are feeling really sad. I mean, if you're getting it for the spell boost from the spell boost 10, it will be really decent. These can evolve neutral followers. Wait a minute. Flame and Glass? Is it possible? Spell boost 6, turn 10, Flame and Glass. After you play Flame and Glass, you play air and then some other wards, and then you get Flame and Glass that's evolved, or air that's evolved, your face that's protected. I think there might be a meme that we can do with air. I think it's meme worthy. This has some spice. I like it, but honestly, it might not look that like it's gonna do really well. Simply one spell boost does not have enough card draw, the two less followers that spell boost your hand, and 2 I mean not a lot of tools, but if it's run in 3rd, I think you want to run better things in 3rd other than air. Things that advance your win con, for example. And this doesn't provide magical stacks anyways. I'm not sure what you want to cut for air. But as meme potential, I could taste something. Unfortunately, this might be a 3/5. I think it's just borderline playable. It's really unique effect, so it won't make it play. Air will either be you'll be either really good or it's just horrendous and will never see play ever again. But since it's Reanimate X and it depends on other cards, I think there's potential that this card will become better as more cards are printed. Oh, that also feels like another Futureverse card. If Shadowverse prints some better spell boost followers in the future for us to reanimate with air, hell, we are cooking, we are eating good. But then again, it's up to side games to see what they'll print. Mastering Melody, 2 mana gold. Spell, put Magical Swirl or Wise Hour into your hand, and if it's been spell boost at least 5 times, they become 0 cost and restore 2 to your leader. For 2 mana, you get to spell boost twice. Oh, why would you ever want to pick the Wise Hour over the Squirrel? The Squirrel is straight up better since there's draw. So this, if you spell boost this 5 times, it's a net 0, but you get to spell boost twice. That sounds pretty good. That sounds really good, and you also get to restore 2 defense and you get a 1/1 follower. And you get to replenish your hand. It's only one draw though, so it might not be sound as good as it is at first, but since Runecraft is actually spell boost is actually lacking a lot of draw right now, this might actually not be that bad. But realistically, you'll only become alive around turn 5, which might also be around the time you took damage. But it's also the time that you must really start worrying about the board states and getting your win con online. If spell boost is good, this will definitely be good. But if spell boost is horrible, this will not see play at all. It's a generic good card, but for 2 mana it might be a little bit bricky. I like this card. It's really well balanced. It's basically a spell boost support card that helps you win, builds your win con. In that case, I'll give it a 3.5 upon 5. A good support card, but it really depends on the deck. Next, let's talk about Dragoncraft. First up, the goal we have spoiled Mermanager. Oh, is the Dragoncraft legendary not up yet? Oh well, I'll edit it later in a bit. But first, let's talk about this. This is discarded from your hand, you restore 3 to your leader. Not bad. It's a heal. You might just run this for the heal. I'm not sure how necessary is to Dragoncraft need heal. Actually, you know what? If you can heal, why would you not? Usually still a net negative in hand size for most early game heal discard cards. Unless you get Lumos Sister. Who's the silver one called again? Let my silver wings silver. I have no idea. What is she called? Oh my god. Whatever she is. I forgot her name. But the discard go for this card. The 3 mana 3/3 ward discard 2, draw 3. If you can get that active with Mermanager and discard Mermanager to heal and ward up, I think it's pretty decent. On turn 2, you can also use this to cycle, discard 1 and draw 1 and restore 1. Definitely helps with survival. Evolve, you get to discard again. Actually, straight up not bad. Yeah, it's actually decent. It's a decent discard the support card, but realistically, will you be playing this card? I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but since there is definitely support for it now, it might make a comeback. But let's think, what is the main problem of this card nowadays? Might be because they don't have a post-Lumore plan. So, but getting there might not be the biggest issue. Or maybe instead after they play Lumore and does a lot of damage to your face, they just don't have a follow-up unless they drew their second Lumore. Or they break. All of which are standard Shadowverse experiences. Another card that's whose viability will be tied to the deck. Just because of that, it does seem like a pretty solid card in general, especially for a dead deck. So it secures itself at least a 3.5 upon 5. It seems really versatile as well. You can discard this in other decks just as extra heal or cycle. I think it might actually be not that bad. I'm willing to give this a 4 upon 5 just because it is versatile and have a pretty decent chance at, well, doing what it needs to do. But now, I need to look for the legendary Dragoncraft follower. Okay, so I found the card is Vanity Dragon Template 0.6, a legendary Dragoncraft follower with Ward and Fanfare. Until the end of turn, change the cost of a follower and spell in your hand to 0. Okay, really spicy, but really slow. It's a 10 mana card that does not exactly win the game, but enables some very fun shenanigans. Now it's time to see what those shenanigans could be. Okay, first one immediately I had thought of is something to do with Venomore perhaps, and then actually what Dragoncraft spells are there that we can pair alongside Vanity Dragon? All that glitters is the first card that came to mind. Is the most expensive Dragoncraft spell, I think. And that's not exactly what you want to play unless you want to stall out your opponent, in which if you're at 10 mana, I think you need to do something more than that. For when do Dragoncraft usually gets to 10 mana? Assuming you ramp twice in the game, so you get it around turn 8. So by now you can expect something similar to the level of an OTK. Okay, so because I might be because my brain has been primed by this card. The first thing I thought of is a Lumore OTK. Assume okay, right, that's so Journey to the Past is a spell that can be targeted by this. For based on the how it says. So imagine this. Journey to you have Lumore die the previous turn, and then you journey to the past, play a second Lumore, discard 5 cards for lethal. That's one way of using this card. Next way that I can think of is Platinum Dragon Blader, give storms to 10 attack follower. Venomore is in the game, right? Is it possible that you okay wait? Might be Journey to the Past again. Journey to the Past, who do we want to resurrect? Storm followers, Forte and Miriam. Alright, Forte and Miriam is Storm, right? If you play is double attack, all that glisters. But then this card, it will be a 50-50 unless you can get rid of your Vanity Dragon. Since like there's combo potential, is an enabler. I quite like the design of this card, even though it's pretty bad. I think it's a step in the right direction. Printing more enablers like is already that makes a class more interesting instead of just straight up win conditions and DPSs. So of course, I hope that in the future, side games will print cards that this can support instead of just printing out one archetype and one very clear pattern of how to play this card in specifically. And I hope that they give us the creative freedom. Just because of that, for meme potential, I will give this a 5 upon 5. Just for design. It is really interesting. Even though it's really bad in the current state, since I don't think there's a good enough payoff. It's too... Even the best payoff that I can think of is a little bit RNG dependent. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting for sure. I quite like this card. But damn, it's bad. Would you want to play it for 10 mana for a high roll or swords? I'll say it's a 1-star card at best. I don't see it going anywhere above a 2-star. Oh my god. How many classes is there already? 4? 4 classes, and I haven't even seen one class where it is like, oh my god, this card is good. It's all, well, I guess they can cook something. I do not have high hopes for the rest of the classes. So next up, we have Shadow. Oh wait, this card looks pretty sick. Viscaria, how do you pronounce this? Viscaria, Abyssal Avenger, 2 mana, 2/2. Bane, Fanfare, you spend at least 10 shadows to perform necromancy. This match, you evolve this follower. If you spend at least 20, deal 4 to the enemy leader and restore 4 to your leader. And when this follower evolves, destroy a random follower and draw a card. Wow, this does a lot for 2 mana. Wow, okay. Necromancy Shadow. How well does this feel? Let's see what cards are in the Necromancy package right now. Just gonna search it up on Shadowverse real quick. Give me a second. So we have Petrol Pub, Hellfire Strike, Blossom Beauty, Myth, Grave Void Knight, Deathside Hound, Cerberus, Feel Their Fear, Soul Extraction. Nah, not Soul Extraction. Corpse Crusher. As well as Lord of Resurrection. It's a fanfare effect, it's not on summon effect, so you have to play this. There's no way you can get OTK with this, right? Let me think. But Viscaria. Nah, you don't have enough. You don't have enough mana. I was thinking if you can get it back using from Death Door open and then just play it for more damage. But it's definitely interesting. Okay. Now I need to remember how much shadows I get from playing Shadowcraft. Back when I was playing my Grave Adjudicator deck, so I can start Necromancing 4 at the start of turn 4 if I'm Nymph active, or no, by turn 3 if I'm lucky, if I'm running Instinct Death. And if I use Grave Void Knight as a draw engine, Fusion Engine, draw 4 shadows, 5 shadows, more shadows, 20 shadows, you can probably expect to accumulate 20 shadows. But if you just hard earn it by around turn 6, using 10 shadows to perform necromancy will be really easy because Grave Void Knight is in the game. You basically get to spend 4 shadows for free. Blossom Beauty spends 4 to just draw a card. And Myth also refunds you costs. This card is really good. It's really nice. I like this card. It's damage, it's burn, it's heal. Necromancy Burn Shadow. I like it. Will it be good? Yes, restore. If you run, you can run. I think you can run Micaiah in Shadowcraft. You can bury away if you don't like it. There's good cycle. The stars might be aligning here. And what else? Oh right, that's Cerberus, which is extra burn if you want to look at it, and drain for 5 mana. What are the 5 cost followers are there? Reanimate Torchella, Cerberus, draw Torchella, reanimate. Maybe not Cerberus. But overall, I think the Necromancy Burn Shadow might be an archetype. How soon does this exist? 10 shadows is turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. It will activate. It's active on turn 5. First evolve turn. Will evolve shadow be a thing? No payoff yet. Alice and Grimnir are still too slow. And if that's the case, I might as well play Thief. I haven't been playing Thief a lot. It's been really hard to play Thief nowadays. But hi. It's not my fault, okay? It's not my fault. I've really been trying. But okay, Viscaria. Okay. After a lot of deliberating with myself, I like to say there's hope. This might be the first actual good card. Good quotation marks, good in quotation marks, card that I've seen that I might be willing to give a 4-star card. This might be the first 4-star card that I've seen so far. And I hope it's not the last. I hope there's more. This is pretty decent. I'm not sure, but if your enemy can out-heal you though, yeah, I hope this is good. Shadow needs something. I need something fun to play with, and this feels like it could scratch that itch for me. Side games, you won't let me down, will you? But let's take a look at the goal. 2 mana, 2/2. If any allied followers are in play, you destroy 1 to summon a ghost and draw a card. Necromancy 4, gain the ability to evolve for 0 evolution points. Okay, evolve. Necromancy. And if any allied followers are in play, destroy 1 to summon a ghost and draw a card. So 2 mana, draw 1. If you have a follower that you can destroy, you have 4 it is your evolve turn. You can use the necromancy to evolve this to draw 2. What options do Shadow have that can draw right now? That's my biggest question. Because right off the bat, my instincts are telling me that this card isn't good. But if Shadowcraft doesn't have better draw, Leads, Blossom Beauty, all the Barrel Ride packages, Night Terror, Spectral Storm, Evolve packages, Bacterus. So is this Ghost support or Necromancy support? Feels like it's Ghost support. 2 mana, summon 2 Ghost, draw 2. Okay, that's it's Coral Souls. It's Coral Souls. But with a 2/2 body, and you need to sacrifice your ability to evolve for that turn. 3/5. That's my final judgment. I think the issue here is you're sacrificing a evolve point on your evolve turn. Might be too much of a tempo loss. But you're also getting much needed draw, which I don't think Shadowcraft actually needs now that I look at it. We have Night Terrors, we have Leads, we have all sorts of Barrel Ride, we have Blossom Beauty. It might not be necessary. Hakugis and Munis as well. This might not, and of course all of fusion cards, might not be necessary. Still seems like a very middle of the road generic card. Doesn't quite support goals. You definitely don't want to drop this on turn 5 when you can draw Masquerade. So I'll give this a 3. Maybe knock it down to a 2.5 stars. Yeah, that is about right. A 2.5 star. Just really, really generic. But it's one of those cards that you play if you have no better options. That's my final verdict on this card. Yeah, damn. Okay. And to think that Viscaria of Abyssal Avenger was actually kind of interesting as well. What a shame. Next up, Bloodcraft. And oh my god, that's a lot of text. First up, 6 mana, 2/4. I do not like the slackline for the cost, but since there's a lot of text, something is cooking. Rush and Bane trades into 1 follower, okay. Fanfare, give your leader the following effect. Whenever your leader takes damage during your turn, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 to your leader. So you basically get the condemn 1 mana 0/2 wards effect for 5 times a turn. Follower strike, the next time this follower takes damage, reduce that damage to 0, okay. Deal 1 to your leader during your turn whenever enemy follower is destroyed. Fully restore this follower's ability to attack up to 5 times per turn. Okay. 6 mana for this effect that basically negates your ping. If you pair it with how to train your wolf, this essentially heals you 5 starting from turn 6. That's pretty good. Does it suffice? You also ping your opponent for 5, getting them down into your rough little range. If you get this too early, it's a break. This card got some spice. Not quite combo spice, but it's more like board control, generic good card, board clear, board white spice. Feels like a Drazael that is better than a Drazael as also it's really follower dependent. If your opponent has a lot of followers on the field like Rally Sword, this is really good. If they're not a board based deck, then this one is significantly worse, but getting the leader effect on turn 6 is pretty good, but playing for 6/4, 2/4 is a little bit sad on the sadder side. But this always wipes the board. It looks pretty decent. I feel like it's a little bit too heavy. you might be wasting both your turn 5 and turn 6 for this, especially if you're gonna get the 5 mana card that pings yourself, the idols. I quite remember what their names are called already. But this is interesting card. A 2-off is, you won't run this as a 3-off. You run this as a 2-off. You do not want too many of these copies of this in your hand. I'll say this is is it worthy of a 4-star? I want to get another 4-star card into the fray. Is this 4-star worthy? Protect your face from yourself. Clears the board. Heals you. Sets up for OTK. Prevents you from dying. On turn 6. Saves an evolve point. I'm willing to give this card a 4-star. This is good enough. But it is so situational, and you definitely don't want to draw this early. Man, that took so much thinking just to decide to give this card a 4-star. It's not immediately, okay, this card is good. It's like, okay, will it work in this situation? Is there other better cards that I want to play? Is this the best at what it does? And fortunately, the answers to all of that question is yes. This is a good card. And thank God. Let's take a look at the Bloodcraft Gold. Right now, we have a 5 mana 4/4. Gorgeous art. Hopefully, the text is good. Fanfare, deal 4 to all enemy followers, restore 4 to your leader, and draw a card. And Hunt 7. Deal 7 damage instead. Restore 7 defense instead. And draw 2 cards instead. Absolutely dog shit. Dog water. You don't. Why? Why would you want to play this? 5 mana 4/4, heal 4, deal 4, draw a card. Why this? Over anything else. This only does damage to enemy followers. It keeps you healthy against. You know what I see this as? This is a counter to an aggro deck that doesn't exist yet. It might exist after this, since I do see Reddy getting a little bit of support. But you deal 4 to all enemy followers, restore 4 defense. You're wasting your precious turn 5 on this. Howling Demon does the job better. And you get to go face. Where would you want to play this? Why would you want to play this? Would you want to play this in Wrath? No, there's better things you can do on turn 5 for Wrath, like playing the Idol Masters and actually setting up for turn 6 or even turn 7 OTK. Rather than play this. Unless you're losing on board. In which case, this definitely isn't going to save you. A 5 mana 6/6 is way too easy to deal with, especially if they're already ahead on board. Unless they're an aggro deck, and that 4 hit points you heal just so happens to save you. This isn't going to save you. So why print a counter to a deck that doesn't exist? Yet, I have a suspicion that Cygames is trying to push board-based decks. But this is not how you go about doing it. This counters it. You're doing it wrong. Why? This was a good card. Like, just continue printing good cards. Like, why do you have to go downhill from here? Why, Cygames? What's next? Haven? Okay, right, it is Heavencraft. So, the legendary is a 3 mana amulet, Holy Serpent's Blessing. Fanfare, choose to summon a white snake or Holy Serpent's Blessing, so either summons itself or a white snake, which is a 3 mana 2/2, with Bane, which is horrendous stat lines. At the end of your turn, you deal 1 to a random enemy follower and restore 1 to your leader. For 3 mana, deal 2, heal 2. That is pretty average. Do you want to play this in Hill Haven? Might be worth it. Worth a slot. On turn 6 maybe? Nope, too slow. You have better things you want to do on turn 6, turn 7, too slow. Yeah, it's definitely not Hill. You can use this as Hill Haven support, but it does look like it is Amulet Haven support. Amulet Haven, at the end, let's finish reading the text. If at least 10 allies from the followers, amulets will be destroyed this match. Seraph of the True Key Pog, deal 3 to an enemy, deal 3 damage and restore 3 defense, and give a random allied follower +2/+2, and the following effect can be targeted by enemy effects. Okay. This last part is huge. So currently, Seraphs of the True Key can be targeted by enemy effects. Getting these means that Seraph of the True Key is more likely to stick onto the board, the last words cannot be banished, and it becomes a 14/14 that your opponent has to trade into. Unfortunately, it can still be destroyed by card effects. But I don't think Holy Serpent's Blessing actually solve any of the deck's issue. If you have seen my Seraphs of the True Key OTK deck, which you should, by the way, definitely go and check out, my biggest issue with Seraphs of the True Key is that one is actually getting there. This does help get you there, but you're spending turn 3 for 2 amulets when you can probably be spending it for 4, and this note for 3 and getting cycle, but this doesn't cycle, this only clears the board, so that's a downside already. And also very important thing is, another big issue with Seraphs of the True Key is that once you play it, there's nothing else you can do for that turn. And if you play any card before you play Seraphs of the True Key, you're losing out on a little bit of value. Unless you are playing Holy Serpent's Blessing, which then you might justify playing this before Seraphs of the True Key. In which case you can give like +4/+4 to Seraphs of the True Key, excluding evolve points, because it's a 16/16. And this will do 4 damage to your opponent's face next turn start. Not too bad. Have a chance of seeing play. Might be a little bit too expensive. It is a 1 countdown though, so you can definitely pair with Seraphs of the True Key and go for an OTK. I'm coping so hard trying to justify this card. This seems a little bit too slow on the front and doesn't cycle. So just because of that, I can only give it a 2/5. I do not think I can give it a 3. I don't see any other scenario where you will want to play Holy Serpent's Blessing outside of Seraph of the True Keys. I don't even think you want to play this in Hill Haven, simply because it's countdown 1 and it doesn't last for 2 turns. What a disappointment. Next up, Heavencraft Gold. Wing Beats of Prayer, 6 mana card. Whenever an allied amulet is destroyed, subtract 1 for the cost of this card. And countdown 1, you summon 2 adamantium birds and they get ward. And the medium birds are 5 mana 3/5s. Okay. 2 of them with rush. So realistically, how cheap is this gonna be? If they 3 amulets on turn 1, 2, 3 with this in hand, whenever. Does this effect work if it's in deck? If this works if it's in deck, this is broken. If it doesn't, it's significantly worse. It's a 1 countdown and you get wards. Definitely compare this with Seraph. It looks like Seraph support. At least they're supporting the current cards. Sure, finally, goodness gracious. 6 mana summon. Okay, realistically, if you have this in your opening hand, it's gonna be a 3 mana summon, 2/3/5s on turn 4. Or turn 4, 2 mana summon, 2/3/5s. Or even 0 mana summon 2/3/5s. Accelerates Seraph's quest very quick, especially now you're getting an extra 1, but it doesn't cycle, so you're gonna look at more card draw. Actually, I think I do have enough card draw with my Seraphs of True Key. So this might not be as horrendous as we think it might be. If you play this in a pure amulet deck, I think this can justify itself as a 3 this is worthy of a 3-star, I believe. Is it worthy of a 4-star though? Is it enough value and tempo that it deserves to be a 4-star? Where are there situations where I rather have Wing Beats of the Prayer Down instead of any other card? No. Therefore, this shall stay at a 3-star. But 2-star, 3-star. Nah, never mind. I was about to say Haven is not in a bad spot, but I take back. I have to eat my words because it's actually in a pretty bad spot. Portal next. Wow, we have a duplicator. 2 mana, 2/2, a Portal Legendary, Anitanita, oh wait, I read that wrong already. Antanita's Spark of Change. Fanfare, select a neutral card in your hand and put a copy of it into your hand and deck. Okay, so first of all, what neutral card would you ever want to copy? At this current point in time, neutral cards that you can copy. I think the objectively correct answer is Flame and Glass, but that's just me saying things. But I know all of you out there are probably on the same wavelength as me. The best card you can copy is Flame and Glass United, and if you have any other opinion, you're wrong. Just kidding. But seriously though, looking through the list of neutrals we have in rotation right now, the best answer I have is Asuka Shiori, Blooming Dancers, as well as Alice, Wandering Dreamer, all of which are Evo cards. So I'm going to assume Antonita will fit into a Evo deck if you're going to play her for her main effect. On the Evolve though, you get to select a Portalcraft card in your hand and put a copy of it into your hand and deck. The fact that it's on put onto an Evolve effect is extremely worrying. This might mean the viability of this card goes down significantly. The best, and if you want to copy a Portalcraft card, the best Portalcraft cards to copy are those that are cheap. And right off the top of my head, the only card that I think will be worth copying from Portalcraft is Lymph, which also from the Puppet Master. That sounds like the best one. If not, what are the else? Judith is a good card to copy if you're playing Enhance and you somehow have both copies in hand. What else? That's it. That's okay. Maybe actually, there's also Lazuli, Shin as well. Both of them are pretty decent cards that you might consider duplicating just to get more copies of Radiant Artifacts and shit. But other than that, there's not a lot of good Portal options. Unless, okay, wait, actually no. I just realized, Robotic Arms Rescuer. If you're playing Evolve Portal, just getting another one of these and just accelerating your Evolve quest with the assembly drop that you get from Robotic Arms Follower could be good. Evolve this, get 2 Robotic Arms Follower in hand, but you need a decent number of let's see, Portalcraft followers to fuse these, which can be supplemented with Sweeper Door. But this card is also really generic, really boring. I don't see the spice here, since none of the cards that you copy from Portalcraft are too interesting. Except for Lymph. Lymph looks like there's a potential on OTK with Lymph. Let me just check the exact wording of Lymph again. So Lymph's Puppet, Lymph's Marionette is a 2/3 Storm. Unseen Strength is +2/+2 if at least 20 allied followers have been destroyed, evolve it. So it becomes if you copy the spell like 4 times, so you have 4 Lymphs, 4 Unseen Strength, 4 Marionettes, they become 6/6/6/6. There's possible chance of an OTK here with Antenita alongside Lymph, but I'm not gonna bank on it. You probably don't want to play this in Machina, it's too tight. You need to play Machinas every turn. Spending 1 turn to play in a tradeless follower is too detrimental. Enhance only get 1 copy, so it's basically Highlander and hope to high roll. You know what? The more I think about it, the worse Antonita gets. So I'm gonna stop thinking and give it a 2 upon 5 star before she becomes a 1. Yeah, that's oh man, oh, wow, that's horrible. 3 mana 7/7 Detestable Monolith. Holy shit. 3 mana 7/7 Fanfare, draw a card. Enhance 6, replace, recover 3 play points and evolve this follower. Okay. Can't attack. Know what? Unplayable. When you play another card using his enhanced effect, evolve this follower and change his attack and defense to XX. X equals to enhanced cost. Then it has ward and can attack. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the. Let's look for any enhanced cards from Portalcraft and Neutral. Let me just get those key filters up. Okay, I'm going to swap over to my game window now. Let's take a look at what cards we have. So, enhance. So we are going to look for cheap enhancers. Puppet Wards is an enhanced 4 that gives you 2 puppets. This one is enhanced 9, so it's way too slow. Enhanced 8 is too slow. Enhanced 5, 5/5 on turn 5. We've basically Storm with Black Rust Underling is decent. Smelt Work is Accelerate, Enhanced 6. And this is Enhanced 6, that doesn't matter. New Discovery, Enhanced 6. Okay, we also have. Okay, this one's an Enhanced 4. This one's an Enhanced 6. This one's an Enhanced 5. Judith is an Enhanced 4 or Enhanced 5. So here's the thing. Coming back to this card. At first, okay, if you drop this on turn 3, it's definitely not gonna die. That's for certain. So it will survive turn 3. If you get an enhanced 4 on turn 4, this essentially is 4 mana storm. Essentially. That's just delayed by 1 turn. This is never dying by on turn 3. Your opponent will also never trade into this. So on turn 4, you get a 3 mana 4/4 storm with ward. If provided that you play cards like Ironforge, Puppet Waltz, those are the only enhanced 4, I believe. And then if you somehow manage to make it to Judith as well, and if you somehow make it to turn 5, Puppet Workout changes into a 7/7, and then Black Rush Underling makes basically 9 damage on turn 5. I feel like there might be a little bit of potential, like just a teensy little weeny bit, if you know what I mean. Just a teensy weeny little bit for this card. Just a little bit. It might require some cooking. It might. You know what? Actually, it will. But other than that, if you draw this later in the game on turn 6, this is horrendous. Wait, no, you recover 3 play point. Oh, this becomes a 7/7 immediately. Oh, wait a minute. You recover 3 play point. I missed out this part. 3 mana 3/7 7/7 with ward. And if you play with Cutthroat, it's positive mana. Wait a minute. This is positive mana. Hold up. Cutthroat into Detestable, into Battle Cruiser, into Detestable, into Cutthroat. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's positive mana. Battle Cruiser into Detestable Monolith into into Dune Surfer. Dune Surfer is 6, right? Yes. So 8, 6, it goes to 7. Do we have a 7 enhance? We do have a 7 enhance. And if we summon 2, I mean, we can run 2 of these in Condemn. Damn it. But, okay, it's spicy. This card is spicy. It's bad, but I think it's okay. It looks decent to me, but it's spicy. Oh man, is it playable though? I think it's a little. I want to give it a 3 so bad. Even a 4. Is it a 4? No, it's not worthy of a 4. Is it a 3? Is it a 3? 3 mana 7/7. 3 mana 7/7. I mean, look at those stat lines. It's gorgeous, my guys. It's gorgeous. I mean, come on, it deserves a 3, right? Yeah, let's give it a 3. 3 mana 7/7. Detestable monolith. 3 upon 5 stars. Oh my god, I'm coping so hard. And last but not least, we have the neutrals. First up, Gilgamesh Demigod. 7 mana 6/6 storm that summons an Enkidu and destroys 2 enemy followers and draws X cards. X equals the number of followers destroyed, and Enkidu is a 5 mana 4/4 with ward. Okay, so first things first, this card is unplayable. The reason being, Loot Sword exists, and loot this. If you're playing this against Loot Sword, you're basically just raising the white flag because you lost. So yeah, maybe that's a bit harsh, but let's explore this guy's options. So what do we have for Gilgamesh? Reanimate 7 from the Last Reborn. 5 mana 6/8 storm. 5 mana 8/8 storm. I'm not convinced. Okay, wait. We do have Spell Boost Reanimate now. So what if, imagine 10 mana air, or however you call her, summons 2 Gilgamesh, and then you pair it up with a Simiel. I guess. I'm not convinced. But overall, but you know what? Maybe I'll stick to my initial cards. I'll give this a 1 star. Simply because Loot Sword exists. This is a 7 mana draw to is a Kurzael wannabe, and you will never be, simply because Loot Sword exists, and it only summons 1 ward. In fact, it's even worse than Kurzael. Kurzael even has a Machina tag. This doesn't even have a Machina tag. So this is worse, right? Okay, to be fair, this is basically just rip off Kurzael for every class, but its stats are slightly better. But seriously, I don't think I'll see anyone play this over Kurzael. So yeah, very questionable card. Hopefully the other one will be better. 2 mana Case Cracked. Remove all effects from all enemy followers except changes to their attack or defense. A AoE silence. I do not like this card. Now, there's a very big reason for why I do not like the design of this card at all. So, you notice how this card only removes card effects. Doesn't change attack or defense. So if your opponent already has a huge board like Buff Dragon, this does absolutely nothing. So at worst, this is a 2 mana do nothing. It's bad. But let's take a look at its best. At best, this wins you the game. Why? Imagine if your opponent has an entire board full of wards, and you're a combo that relies on Storm. How are you going to get through that board full of wards? Case Cracked. You clear out all their wards, there's nothing they can do, and you go face for with all your storm damage. So this encourages combo playstyles as a 1-off or even a 2-off tech card. And I think this game already has enough combo playstyles. It is already encouraging combo playstyles. We do not need to encourage it even further. We need aggro decks, control decks. We need more variety of decks that aren't combo decks. But this right here encourages combo decks. And I do not like that one bit. It's really polarizing. I do not like the design of it, especially for the health of the game. And because of how niche it is, I think it's a 1-star card. You will find a use for it somewhere, but it's also really, really unhealthy. So, that's basically every single card for the mini extension reviewed. And boy, oh boy, are most of the cards pretty darn bad. In fact, there's only 2 cards here that I gave 4-star ratings, and it's Rogue and as well as Viscaria. The rest are disappointments in their own right. Side games, please, one time, please don't do Futureverse. Pay attention to the current meta. Change it. Why? Some of these cards feels like they're supporting card sets from the future. Okay, the Haven is in the right track. You're supporting Seraphs of the True Key. I like that. To do with this design philosophy. But what is this? What is Durga and BL Sil? What is her Vor? What is Gilgamesh? Overall, which class let's see which class wins first. In my opinion, let's see. In terms of card quality, I think Shadow has the best card quality. Both of these are very interesting cards. Viscaria is very versatile. At the end of the day, is at worst a 2-mana draw 1 with a Summons a Ghost. Actually, no, Rune might actually win. Rune looks good. Rune and the Shadow, but Rune, because it's spell boost, I'm more hesitant on air than Viscaria. Viscaria looks like a way better card for me, so I'll say Viscaria won this mini expansion. And the loser is Forest. I think Forest is the loser. Like, what is this? 2 mana 2/2, or 2 mana 4/4 and a 8 mana do nothing, or 0 mana destroy enemy follower. Net, you just trade 1 for 1 is not good enough. It's not good enough, as well as too expensive, and that builds a non-existent win condition. Very disappointing mini expansion in my opinion. But yes, if you have any thoughts on any of these cards, anything that I missed, let me know in the comments down below. And yes, I'll see you live in whenever the mini expansion releases. See you then.